So you're teaching your child to read, just starting, they have their basic letter sounds down, short vowel sounds, and you want to be able to hand them a book that they can actually read. I want to share a few of my top recommendations for early reader books. So not full-on books, but books that just use the basic sounds and have levels that you can progress up as your child progresses in their reading, but something that they can look at and they can go, I can read this by myself. So here are my recommendations. I have a few that I have used, and then a few free online resources that you can use, and then a few that I've looked into and almost bought, but I haven't bought yet, so I haven't actually used, but look great to me. So let me show you those. Hi, thanks for joining me. If you're new here, I am a young mom of preschool-aged children. We are starting homeschool, but I am also a homeschool graduate, so I do have some experience in the world of homeschool, even though I'm new to teaching it. I am teaching my child, my 4-year-old, how to read, and she is excelling. It has been wonderful. We have both loved the experience, but along with her reading program, there are some readers that she gets to use, but I have found the need to find readers that she can actually read by herself, because she loves it. She loves the sense of accomplishment when she can read her own book. And a lot of the first grade level or kindergarten level or just level 1 I can read books that I find places are generally above where she's been when she's just beginning the reading. And I know as she progresses, she'll progress into those, but I wanted to find things that she can read just at the very beginning, just to encourage her and to kind of build that love for books and that sense of accomplishment, and that she's actually reading, not just kind of learning to read, but she is reading. So I wanted to share this with you. Hopefully they're helpful. And the first set that I have to share with you that I love, you've probably heard of before, and those are Bob books. And I have 4 different sets here that I have picked up. The set you want to start with is this beginning reader set. And there's another one that goes along with this, along this level as well. And I'm going to show you just kind of inside. These are probably the first books that I would use. They are so basic, so simple. Just those short vowel sounds, the basic letter sounds. The only thing that I've heard people complain on these is that the type is not a perfect book font. So let me show you just kind of a page inside. You can see how basic these are. The sounds are super basic, super simple to read, but you can also see that the type is not a book font type. It's a little bit more of a handwriting font. Kind of how the pictures are written more to be like the style that a child might draw them. So if you have a child who really struggles with not being able to recognize her letters, or dyslexia or some other visual difficulty, then these might be a little bit more challenging just because the type of font isn't perfect. My child has had no problem with that. These have been great. She loves her Bob books. We started with set 1. They have set 2 that my daughter is now moving into. So they have a box for sight words, and then one my daughter really likes is they have ones that rhyme, and she thinks these are great. And they have more levels, they go up, so explore them. So another thing I really like about these is that, especially for like the sight word ones or these rhyming word ones, as they go a little bit up, in the back they have a list of words and word families that are used in the books. So if you're trying to look and see, does my child know all the phonograms, all the letter sounds, I don't have to read through the entire thing. I can go and look and see what's inside the book, what words they use, what sight words they use, and it just helps me know if she's ready for this book or not without having to read through every single one. So Bob books, 100% recommend them. I think they're great. My daughter absolutely loves them. Another really simple, really basic beginning reader that I would recommend that also levels up, I think pretty good. It goes really well with the reading program that we're using, which is Logic of English. It really kind of flows along the same lines as far as leveling through, are these books here. And I'm pretty sure these are called the I Can Read Now series. I'm not 100% sure. It's very close. Now I'm Reading series. So they have level 1, which is their purple level, and then they have level 2, which is their blue level, and then level 3 is their red level. I don't know if they have levels beyond this, but I'll give you kind of a glimpse inside one of these as well, just to show you kind of the art form. And these are much more of a book font. The type is a little bit smaller, but my daughter hasn't had too much trouble with them. They're also maybe slightly more advanced than the Bob books, just in the number of words that they use, but still very simple. A cub and a pug. Very simple, very basic letter sounds, and they do progress nicely. I really like these as well, and they're kind of fun. I like the artwork. They're funny. My daughter actually gets the humor in these. Oh, the duck is all muddy. So they're relatable to a little kid, and I like that. So I would recommend those as well if you can. And I can get those at my local library. I didn't actually purchase them. I just rent them. So check out your library for these resources. See if you can get them there versus having to buy them all. But the third set of readers that I am using with my daughter as an additional resource, other than what comes with the reading program that she's using, is these All About Reading readers. We are not using All About Reading, but their first level of readers are great. And I think well worth the investment just to have these readers, even if you're not using their program. Inside, you can see how thick these are. Inside this first one, there's 20 different stories. I think the second one has like 18 and the third one is like 14 because the stories get longer with more words. But for 20 individual little stories, I mean, that's more than a whole set of Bob books has in it, relatable as far as cost. They are now in color. The older books were black and white, so you could probably get those for quite a bit cheaper used, but just be aware there's 2 different sets. So if you really like the color, just know that. But they are super basic, and I'll just open up to, again, so you can see inside. They start really simple. The font is really nice and clean. Again, the font is a little bit smaller, but that's okay. I like the pictures. And then as you progress through the book, they get a little bit harder, but this whole first book is really very simple phonics. They don't add a lot of new rules. They add a few sight words like the and a, and they do get a little bit more wordy as you go on. And then throughout the series, as you go to book 3 and book 2, the stories get longer and more wordy, but still they take it very slow and they go very gently through the series, I feel like. And for the amount of reading this has given my daughter, it has been great, and she really enjoys them. She likes them. So I would recommend these as well. So those are the 3 readers that we use a lot with just, again, she's 4. She's learning. She's not an advanced reader. This is very basic. But I do have a couple of other recommendations for ones you could look at. There's some that I have looked at but not actually purchased myself, but from what I've seen, they seem like they would be a good option for early readers. One would be Sunlight's Fun Tales set. I have not used it, so this is just going from what I've seen online. They look very beginner friendly, like beginner friendly, starting very basic phonics and working your way up. So I would recommend checking those out, and they look affordable as far as price. So another one that I've seen that look fun to me, and these seem like they might be a slight bit more advanced than the ones I'm mentioning now, but again, I haven't used them, so you need to check them out, is Usborne's My Very First Library. It's a box set of about 50 books, and the first set of books are books that you read with your child. So the child reads a line and then you read a little bit, and then the child reads a line that they can read and you read a little bit. So it's kind of introducing your child into reading books slowly, where they don't get overwhelmed by all of the font and you're doing it with them. And then it slowly phases out to where you're no longer reading with them as you go down the set. So you could check that out. Another one is there's an emergent reader set by Flyleaf Publishing. And these are not cheap. Of all of them, they might be the most expensive option, but I really like how they look. And while the physical copies are not cheap, they do have the entire book set online for you to look at and to use. Like if you open them up and look at the preview inside, they'll let you flip through all of the books online for free. So if you are not opposed to doing a little bit of digital reading, like with a tablet or with a laptop and letting your child click through the books, you could do the whole reader set for free that way. So I would check those out if you're interested in that. They again start super simple, super basic, and work their way up. So I would look at that. Another online resource, which you can download and print yourself if you have a economical printer, is Core Knowledge has some readers that are very basic and start really friendly. And I have printed a few of those up for my daughter, and they're pretty good. I mean, obviously it's not the same as a nice book, so if you have the money and want to go buy a book, that's great. But if you're trying to do something a little bit cheaper, they are free downloads. So I would recommend checking out their kindergarten level readers because they actually have quite a few there that you can use. So I think that's a good resource. And then I would say, lastly, check out and see if your reading program has readers. I know we can't all afford to buy all the pieces to our reading program. I get that because I didn't with ours. But I do think that's valuable because the readers that will come with your program in particular will go at the level that your daughter is learning or son is learning to read. So it will move with the exact things that they learned and will not have anything in there that is beyond them. I think that it's great to buy your child something that they can read and let them love learning and encourage it. And I try to help my daughter when she gets stuck. When I give her a reader like this, my goal is for her to enjoy it and conquer it, and not to be frustrated by it. So I don't make her sit there if she just can't figure a word out. I help her. I want her to enjoy the book. And she moves on and she gets it and she figures it out. Our reading time where we do our phonics program is where we learn to read. The readers that I hand her outside of that are for her to enjoy, and so I want her to enjoy those and not make those frustrating for her. But I hope this has helped you. I hope this has given you some ideas of books that you can look at to kind of give your child something they can read before they get to those level 1 readers, or the Now I Can Read, or all of those. And hopefully this gives you some ideas of things to look at and check out. And so if so, let me know if you have other readers that you really love with your children. Please go ahead and comment below. I'd love to know about those. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content.